This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Streaming live each week on Media Squatch Plus and available on demand in the app or wherever you get your podcasts. Local stories, local business, local impact.
Welcome, everyone, to Talk Local to Me. I am Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And unfortunately, my co-host, Mike Norfield, could not be with us today. But I doubt he's listening in either, but he had some things he had to take care of today. So we will miss him on the show. And we're kind of swapping out because next week I cannot be here. I have to take my daddy up to his doctor's appointment because that's what daughters have to do sometimes. So I'm not going to be able. So he's going to take over next week's shift for me. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth. But we're glad you're tuning in with us today while we talk local to another one of our businesses here in the Central Virginia community. And before we get into that, as usual, I just want to kind of run over some upcoming things we have going on here in our area. Whether you're a business owner that wants to attend some of our networking events, or whether you are someone out in the community that wants to attend some of our events that are more community focused, just want to kind of give you a little update on what we have coming up, things that you can already purchase tickets for or be a part of. And so we've mentioned our annual business dinner that's taking place this Friday. We are really excited to host our nominees for various categories. We celebrate everyone from, small business to retail to nonprofits to community, people that are, community builders and such. And we have a lot of wonderful businesses that have been nominated in those areas. And we're going to have a wonderful evening where we celebrate them, have some really good food. Porterhouse Catering, which is a local food truck in our area, is catering the event. So we'll have our theme is denim and diamonds. So we're really kind of going into that whole barbecue and theme this year. So we're looking forward to that. But as far as upcoming events that we want you to know about and get your tickets for, our Lead on Business Summit is taking place March 26th. That is going to be held at the Craddock and Terry Hotel in Lynchburg. And we have some amazing speakers. We actually just put a post up. If you go to the Central Virginia Business Coalition Facebook page, we put a post up about who our speakers are for this summit. And so you can kind of go and get an idea of not only who they are, but what their topics are. But I am going to give a real quick overview. Our keynote speaker for this event is going to be Dr. Dot Richardson. She is the head softball coach at Liberty University, two-time Olympic gold medalist, a physician, and USA Softball Hall of Fame nominee. So she is going to be keynoting us. We're super excited to have her there. And then we also have Joe Eckert, Vice President of Wealth Management. He's going to be speaking about leadership for life, focusing on intentional leadership and building a business that lasts. Brian Eckert, his brother, yes, same last name, regional manager at Dynatrace. He is talking about your business will only grow to the extent that you grow. I'm really excited for this one because he's going to be talking about how are you putting yourself out there? How are you growing your business? Are you getting stuck in life? Are you making moves that you should? Chris McCown, the founder of McCown Financial, is going to be speaking about leading smart with AI, practical tools and real applications of AI for business owners. We also have Butch Jefferson with Maxwell Leadership. He's going to be talking about power up your dream from vision to victory. And then after all is said and done, we will have a panel of all of those speakers along with Rob Wheeler with Mission Clarity. And so kind of my vision is the speakers are going to have their 45 minutes to kind of give their presentation. And instead of having a question and answer time for each speaker, we're bringing them back at the end as a panel discussion so that people can ask questions and everyone can kind of bounce around what they heard and how they kind of, what they got back from the day. So we're really, really excited. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for business growth. It's from 9 a.m. to 3:30. Your ticket includes breakfast, it includes lunch, we have some fun in between minute to win it games. We have a photo booth area. We'll have some vendor booths. So tickets right now are only $79. It includes all of that. I think that's a great deal for all the value, the wealth of information you will get. So you can go to, like I said, our website, cvabc.org, or our Facebook page. You'll see the link to where you can purchase your ticket. We only have a limited number of seats, so we normally sell out make sure you get those as soon as possible. Then April the 11th, mark your calendars for the Central Virginia Home and Garden Show. We are bringing that back to our area. It will be held at EC Glass High School this year. We have 2 gyms that we are going to fill up with anyone that wants to have a booth regarding home, garden, construction. We will even have vendors that deal with like home decor or, the Pampered Chef. You can get kitchen tools, like just anything that you can do that will affect your home and garden. So we're really hoping we will have a great turnout of people that are looking to maybe refresh their homes, or they're just looking maybe even if it's to the fall, but you want to kind of figure out who's going to help you with some of those projects. It's going to be free admission. You don't have to pay to get into this home show. And you will have a great opportunity to talk to different contractors. If you're out there and you are someone that would like a booth, please contact me and we can get you that information. And then last but certainly not least, our Empower Women's Conference coming up April the 30th. Ladies, if you're out there, you want to attend this conference. It is hands down my favorite event that we do all year long. We have some dynamic speakers coming this year, many that we have not had in the past. So it's going to be a lot of new information, and tickets right now are $99. You can purchase them again online, and that includes 6 speakers, lunch, breakfast from Nautical Bowls. We have charcuterie cups that we give out as snacks. We have tote bags with all kinds of wonderful things. So definitely, again, worth the cost there. That's at Legacy Auditorium. But wait, there's more. If you want to attend both Empower and Lead On, we actually have right now where you can get a dual ticket, a combo ticket, if you will, for $180. So that helps kind of cut the cost on both of those down. And you can break that into 3 monthly payments. If you're someone that's out there, it's like, oh, I really want to do that, but it's a lot of money. Just let us know. We really want, you to come out and glean something from both of these events. So it's a lot of things we have going on, and we would love for you to take part of it. The best way to do that, again, follow our Facebook page. We do put up a lot of information there for businesses. I put up something the other day, Bedford Centerfest, like registration is already open for that. We already have, I think, 100 vendors that have signed up so far. It's crazy. But you'll be able to find out a lot with our Facebook page. So, but with that being said, all the good things happening, I'm going to turn it over to our guest today because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And one of my favorite guests, she's been on quite a few times. I think you actually have been on since the beginning. Like you've come on every year with me, and I love chatting about what you guys do. So I am joined here today with Melody Divers with Chapel Creek Farms. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I guess to start off, where to start? Do you want to give us like any updates, or just kind of for anyone that maybe hasn't heard, in the past? Maybe we have some new listeners.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about Chapel Creek Farms in general, and then we can kind of dive into everything.
Yeah, we'll just let it fall as it will, kind of thing. So I'm Melody Divers, and I am part of the team that makes up Chapel Creek Farms. I always joke and say I am the mother of Chapel and Creek, so that's fun. My husband Johnny and I own and operate Chapel Creek Farms here in Bedford County. We have over 2,000 acres that we're farming and about 1,000 cows. So we stay busy, and then we are raising 2 sons. Creek and Chapel, so the farm's named after the boys. And Creek is a legal adult now, but you never stop raising your babies. So anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah, so Creek has graduated and he's a full-time farmer, and Chapel is just doing a few more years of school, and he'll be out and about doing his thing. And I homeschool Chapel. My class size went down cut in half this year because Creek graduated. So I'm just homeschooling Chapel right now. So, Chapel Creek Farms is a family-owned and operated farm where we sell beef direct to the consumer. So if you're looking for grass-fed, grass-finished local beef that hasn't been on a truck for hours and hours and hours, you might want to connect with us. We have a storefront in Montvale where we're open on the weekends, and you can buy by the cut or the pound, steaks, burger, patties, things of that nature. I will say, full disclosure, we're in between restocks right now. So this weekend we'll have a mini restock, and And then the weekend of the first weekend in March, we'll have our more epic restock. So if you come this weekend, yes, it's a mini restock, but the the first weekend in March, it'll be a better one. So we do sell direct to the consumer through our storefront hours on the weekend. And then we do a very successful beef share program as well, where you can buy beef in bulk, where it's either you buy a quarter, a half, or a whole beef. And last year that really took off. So the year before, we served 116 families. So we've been doing the beef share program since 2020. But last year, the year before, I started keeping track of how many families we were working with. And then last year in 2025, we worked with 145 families. And that's folks buying quarters, halves, and whole beef shares. But the best thing last year is Richmond discovered us, and Virginia Beach, and Yorktown, and just areas in Williamsburg. So we have customers, and they have become repeat customers. So that was very humbling. So last year kind of took off exponentially.
That's awesome. Well, I can say, I can verify the quality of Chapel Creek Farms beef. I am a proud supporter and purchaser of especially the hamburger. I get the hamburger quite a bit. I always get the bundles, and I'm close to probably needing another one. I think I was looking at that the other day because I get the 10 pounds or something like that, I think.
Yes, so you can do, we always say, we have a price, which as we begin our official restock and the beef market as it is, prices are going to look different here. So we are still working on that. Johnny and I have homework. We have sketched out prices, and we're looking at different pieces of data from the ag world and beef prices in general. So we're creating our price list as we speak. But as a rule, no matter what it is, we always encourage folks to buy ground beef in increments of 5 pounds because the price drops when you buy in 5 pounds.
Right.
So we normally have a plan where you can buy like 1 or 2 packs if you want. That's fine, but you can also do 5 all the way up to 50 pounds. And then the price continues to go lower the more you buy.
Well, and I know I've mentioned this on here before. I'm very picky. I'm very, very picky about meat. All my meat, chicken, everything, but beef specifically. And I've had some past issues with going to grocery stores and just getting packs of meat. There's been a couple, like I've had anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but so I'm very picky. And so when I first tried, the hamburger from Chapel Creek Farms, I was like, this is my go-to. And so that is what we use. I don't use any other meat from any other place because I believe in the quality, and I've never had anything to turn me away or make me say anything otherwise. So, if you're out there and you're looking, and I see people all the time online asking, like, I really want to go get, fresh local beef. Like, where do I do that from? And I always plug.
Oh, thank you. We do appreciate that. I would say ever since the pandemic, folks are realizing that they have choices in their neighborhood where they can shop that doesn't look like a big box store. So I'm very open to telling folks we live in such a great area with Bedford County agriculture that if we don't line up with you and your non-negotiables, there's going to be a farm in this county that you can find what you're looking for. And I say that also because I do a lot of volunteer work with the ag board here in the county. I'm the PR head for the ag board as well. And I'm always pushing folks to really just look in their backyard. What neighbor can you support? What farm is down the road from you that, has a farm stand or porch pickup or goes to the farmer's market? Because Bedford really is beaming and with wonderful choices. Obviously, we would love if you picked us, but the truth is what a wonderful what a wonderful scenario to live in a county that has so many resources.
Right. I agree. And I was thinking about, I saw a Facebook post earlier this week, and I don't know if you saw it or not, because I can't remember which one it was on, but someone had gone to another local farm and gotten beef and meat. And like, she made this post about how she wanted to support local, but oh my gosh, how expensive. It was just so expensive. Like, how do you expect people to pay those prices and stuff? And like, you're looking at her receipt, and I had to kind of giggle because like she had gotten like filet and Wagyu filet and all this stuff. And I was like, really? Like, you're going to complain about the cost? Like, it's not like you just went and got a pound of burger.
Right.
Know? But, you know, you hear people that are like, oh, well, it's so much more expensive to go local. Mm-hmm. And maybe it is a little bit, but I don't think people really, there's a couple things in that. I don't think they necessarily see what goes into having
cost,
to have to do. You're also not looking at the preservative, like what you're putting in your body too.
Johnny
is way different.
Johnny says it so well. You're going to pay for it somewhere. Are you going to pay for it up front? Or are you going to pay with it with health and doctors, prescriptions or things like that? So where do you want to pay for it?
Right.
Do you want to pay for it up front? No, you're getting quality produce, beef, whatever the it is. Or would you prefer to indulge in junk, and then somewhere around you're going to have to pay for it, either with financial resources or your health resource. So I thought that was well said. But some folks, customers, they say that, I have one, and he's been with us since the beginning, and he said that his wife, who does the grocery budget, actually says that they have saved money since they've shopped with us, and they're good shoppers. They're very mindful shoppers. First of all, if I have anything on sale, they shop the sales. That's what our grandmothers always said, shop the sales. If you can put it in the freezer or you can put it in the pantry and it's not going to go bad, always shop the sales. So they shop the sales. And then we do bundles, like prepackaged beef bundles, where it may have a couple steaks, a roast, some ground beef, that kind of thing. And those bundles are always at a discount. So they shop that as well. Then they shop the ground beef bundles. They never just come in for 1 or 2 packs of ground beef. They always see where they can optimize their savings. So because they're good shoppers and we have those things available, they said that has actually helped their grocery budget. But the thing is that they also like is the kids are cleaning their plates out, which the dogs probably hate because the dogs like cleaning plates out. But that is when you are throwing food away from dinner, that is waste. That is money that is lost. Yep. The other thing is that this customer and other customers have said, when you cook up our ground beef, it doesn't all sizzle away. So you are getting what you're paying for.
Yes. I didn't even really think about that.
I didn't
It doesn't have a lot of fat either. Like, I'm not having to dampen
it down with like a paper towel and stuff. Right. So I just really think when you are a mindful consumer and you can put all those things into logic, and that is wonderful. And the folks that are going to complain, you know what? There's Walmart and Food Line, and that'll be a good fit. And I'm not saying that with a disrespect. That is, again, we may not be for everybody, but the folks that want to have conversations, face to face and ask, so why are your prices the way they are, or things like that. I told one customer, I said, if you want to, and they're just one of those good old customers that you just love. I was like, one of our monthly bills from 2025 to 2026 increased 3 times what it was. So we went from paying $200 to almost $600 a month for something. Right. And there was no rhyme or reason given for that, and then, the folks are just really, they find the value in not just shopping local, but shopping with someone that you can have a conversation with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was looking just the other day too, like it's also about what is important to you in your budget. Like I was looking the other day at ours and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm paying, okay. I apparently like a lot of streaming services because I'm like, I'm doing the Netflix, you got the Hulu, you got all these things, and you add all of that up and you don't really think about it when it's coming out. Like, oh, it's only $10.99 for this. Oh, it's only $7.99 for this. Well, after adding it all up, you're paying more than you were paying for like cable or Xfinity or all those things that you complain about because that's a bigger price tag in your eyes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, is it more affordable to do, like for me, I'm going to tell you something else about convenience here, friends. For me, when I get the bundle of beef from Melody and them at Chapel Creeks, I have 10 pounds of beef, right? So if I'm at home and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make spaghetti, let me just run up to my freezer and grab a pound of ground beef. If I'm getting it from, let's say, Walmart or Food Lion, I'll go, oh, I want spaghetti tonight, but I don't have ground beef. Let me run in and grab ground beef. Okay, it's not just ground beef. Then I'm buying 70 other things and I've paid more than what I would have paid
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It also helps, I think, having all of that already up in your freezer and ready to go. And it helps you not impulse buy.
And I think
that's my other thing.
Going back to what grandmothers taught us, they were very big on not just shopping the sales, but my grandmother would always do like a meal plan. For maybe she wrote it down, maybe she had it in her head. I don't know that, but it was not scattery, like just pulling things out. Like you kind of always had enough things in the house to make a pot of XYZ, or we could have this, those staple ingredients. And I think people have really put beef in line with that. That's what I see. I would like to retract about the big box stores. We appreciate the farms and farmers that work to make those grocery stores full. I'm not making shade on anyone like that. So if you're all listening, don't think I'm snarky.
Right.
I'm just saying that there's a place for everyone to feel comfortable with what's important to them.
Yeah.
So I love everybody. I'm not mad at anybody.
No. Well, I mean, that's just the same as somebody that says, well, I like the beef more at Food Lion than Walmart. I mean, there's a fit for everyone that is different.
Yes.
Whether you are, doing local or whether you are using just big box, because that's what's convenient for you.
Right.
But speaking of convenience, because even though you guys are, y'all are in Montville, you also do some pickups. Like you try to make it easier for people to come.
Yeah. And that actually is coming up in a few weeks. So on March the 9th, we will be at Falling Creek Park. Now we're not shopping from our trunk or anything like that. If you know of something that you want, we will be at Falling Creek on March the 9th at 5:45, and you can do a pre-order pickup. And you can just email me or text me, however that works for you, and just say, hey, Melody, I would like, a chuck roast, or I'd like 5 pounds of ground beef, or whatever the case is. And I'll get your invoice to you, and I'll meet you at Falling Creek Park. Also on March the 9th at 4:15, right before our Bedford, we'll do a Bonsack pre-order pickup. So those are the two spots that once a month we do pre-order pickups. We do one in Bonsack, and that's at the Kroger parking lot. We normally park near Sal's Italian Restaurant. And then when we do Bedford, it's at the Falling Creek Park, right? The area really close to the entrance to the park.
Okay. So, and I have utilized those myself.
Yes, you have.
So I've sent my husband up there too. I'm like, hey, can you come meet Melody?
Yes.
I gotta do this.
Yes.
So he's going to go in and he can pick it up. But, so let's talk a little bit more about the beef shares.
Yeah.
I want to, speaking of just convenience and maybe even that pre-planning, tell us a little bit about how the beef shares work.
Yeah, sure thing. So if you follow us on Facebook, you've seen that I think it was yesterday, I posted a video about beef shares and what that means and what we do to make it a streamlined process for our farm, for our customers, excuse me. But the main thing is that when you buy a beef share, first of all, a share is a portion of the available beef. So if you're getting a quarter share, you're getting 25% of the available beef from that cow, not from other cows. So that's really important. If you're getting a half beef, you're getting 50% of the available meat from that cow, and a whole cow, you're getting all the available beef from that animal. So and really encourage folks to think about your freezer space, think about how many folks you're feeding. And, if you have a family of 2 versus a family of 6, that quantity will look what you purchase will look much different than, what the other folks are doing. So we always say, be really discerning about what you have, who you're shopping for, that kind of thing. So a quarter beef is about 70-ish pounds of take-home freezer meat. And that's give or take and when I say about, it's not because I'm inept and I don't know what I'm talking about. It's because every animal weighs something different. We do try to get them to a particular weight, but animals are going to do what animals are going to do sometimes. So anyway, I just wanted to say that part when you're like, why is she saying about? That kind of thing. So quarter beef is about 70 pounds of take-home meat. And so that means a half beef would be about 140 pounds of take-home meat, and a whole beef would be about 280. And that is based on the animal's live weight determines how much take-home freezer meat you take home. So no matter if you get a quarter, half, or whole, this is a really helpful formula. About 50% of your order will be in ground beef. And as a customer, you can choose, do you want that fat ratio in your ground beef to be 90-10, 85-15, 80-20? Do you want the ground beef to be in 1.5, 2 pound packs? When you come to the store, they are what they are. But when you do a beef share, you can really curate that.
Okay.
Also, so you get 50% in ground beef, 30% will be in roast, ribs, brisket, and stew meat. Now, if you don't like all of those cuts, you're just like, we're not really roast people, or we're not really brisket people, then you can decline those cuts so you're not stuck with something you don't care for. So when you decline them, you don't lose them. That meat's just put into ground beef.
Okay.
So that's, if you like a lot of ground beef, we have a lot of folks that are like steak, ground beef, that's it. And then we have some people that want to optimize and get every particular cut. And then 20% of your order, simply because of the cow's anatomy, will be in hand cut steaks. So this is another great thing. How thick do you want your fillets? Do you want them 1 per pack or 2 per pack? Things like that. Do you want your New York strips to be bone in or boneless? So you really get a say in this. And that's really what we advocate all along, is that as a consumer, you get to have a conversation with us. It's all one-on-one. And whether it's a phone call or in person, we don't just hand you the paperwork and say, yeah, figure it out, that kind of thing. So we really give one-on-one attention, which I think is what a lot of folks really like, because it doesn't make them feel lost and confused about what they're doing. So I will share that if you get a quarter, it's a $15 quartering fee added on just because of the convenience fee that the processor charges us. We have to charge it. But, some folks say, oh, yeah, I have a buddy and we're going to go in together. And I know that is a common thing. I know that's like what my grandparents' generation and whatnot, that was the farmer only sells a whole beef and it's up to me to find other people to go in. You do not need to do that. In fact, we like it just working one family per share. So we sell quarter, half, and whole, and there's no financial perk to buying a whole beef. The only thing is, if you buy a half or a whole, there's a few more cuts I can offer you on the cut sheet, and you don't have to pay the $15 quartering fee. But other than that, we really just, if your buddy wants a quarter beef and you want a quarter beef, don't get a half beef and figure out who gets how many. Just let everybody order their own thing. And then, so for example, if you want T-bones, but your friend wants New York strips and fillets, you couldn't be on the same, ticket, because that's two. You can only have one or the other. So we just tell folks, don't worry about partnering up. We take care of that. All the beef is going to be obviously exclusively raised by Chapel Creek Farms here in Bedford County from birth. So we don't go to the stockyard or other farms, pick up beef and say, hey, that's Chapel Creek Farms cows, and we're going to sell it as our beef. So they're raised on our farms here in Bedford County, and then they go to the processor. We use Schrock's in Gladys, and we've been with them for over 5 years. And we really like their way that they work.
It's funny you say that, because in that, the post that I read about the person saying that the meat was, somebody put in there that now every Virginia beef person had to send it out of state, and that's why it was more. And I was like, no, that's not true.
Do they have the option to utilize processors out of state? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But it's not a have to. But I think that also goes back to having a good working relationship where, Schrock's, we've worked with them for over 5 years. We are organized. They are organized. They communicate well. We communicate well, and our checks don't bounce. So they probably like working with us,
Right.
And so we take several cows every month from February on into September. So we have a good working relationship. And that's like anything with agriculture, your co-op store, your vet, whatever that is, you've got to have a good relationship. Right. It can't, that's why I feel like, yes, obviously we can't do what we do without Johnny and the boys or the cows, but in the processor, it takes all of these folks having a really good, relationship.
And I like the fact too, with your ground beef, you can also get that in patties. Like y'all can already get them in hamburger patties. So they're delicious, by the way, too.
I will say we probably won't have any more of those until the first weekend in March. Valentine's, we were open and we've never been open in, February. Honestly, we might be open here and there, but this year we tried something different, that we were going to be open the majority of January and all of February. Didn't know if folks would want to come out in the winter or whatnot. Normally any retail you do after Christmas, there's a quietness in sales, and that's okay. So this year we just, sliced our hours and said, we'll try, we'll, see if it works. Well, oh my goodness. It has worked, and it's been good for us to be open in January and February. People wanted that. That's been great. But on Valentine's Day, oh my gosh, it was so great. We were so busy, and everyone was coming with their little sweethearts and picking out steaks for dinner or just shopping and just being together on Valentine's Day. And so after everyone, the day was over and I was closing up, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of empty boxes. So like I said, we have a little stock up this coming weekend, but our major stock up and replenishing of beef will be on the first weekend in March. So we don't have any patties right now, but we will.
I feel like this is going to be the year that I do a beef share. So I think I want to sit with you. Even if I start small, I'm thinking and seeing. I've been kind of, I go back and forth about it, but I think it's going to be more beneficial for me to do the beef share and have, a lot of the ground beef. And then, because you base that off of the hanging weight, correct? It's so much per, I guess, pound.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I always tell folks, if you're unsure, please start with a quarter, because the worst thing could be is you're stuck with all this beef and you're like, we only eat beef once a week.
Right.
This is going to be too much. So I always tell folks, maybe I'm not a good salesperson, but just start with a quarter. And then if you need to work your way up. And we have families that they've done a quarter, they've done a quarter, they've done a quarter. And now all of a sudden the kids are growing up and they're eating like little adults at the table. And they'll say, I think this is the year for a half, and that's just... that was not me pushing. That was them realizing what worked, well for them as well.
So you can only do so many beef shares, though, a month, correct?
Yes.
And so how does that look? How does somebody get kind of set up with you to come in and chat about that?
So we're always taking orders just because of the demand. So February and March and April are already sold out for 2026, but we have plenty of availability May through September. So you just get up with me and say, hey, Melody, either can you give me information so we can talk it over as a family and see if it's a fit for us? Or yes, I would like to be in your May, June, whatever beef share. So from there, what we do is set up a beef share contract appointment, either in person or over the phone. And I normally like it to be face-to-face, but we have been getting more folks from, Williamsburg, Richmond, and those areas. So obviously that's not feasible for a face-to-face, but also it's just sometimes nice to have an option if you can't come out. But I do like to have a face-to-face and meet folks and things like that. But no matter how we do the beef share contract appointment, you can go ahead and figure this, that the conversation is going to be about 30 to 40 minutes. It starts off with talking about our farm, our practices, and I just make sure everyone's cool with, so we're your people, you're ready to move forward. There's no like sign on the dotted line as soon as you get here, give me your deposit. It's a nice conversation. Then if they're ready to move to the next part, we talk about the cuts. So I fill in the whole cut sheet. Folks just sit there, nod, smile. Yes, no, I don't like that. Can you show me what that looks like? Or how do you cook that, Melody? Or things like that. So we go through line by line. And I help you, figure out how you want it packaged, thickness of steaks, your roast. I always say, think about what you're cooking in and who you're cooking for, and do you like leftovers? So things like that. Then after the cut sheet, we go through the adult part, which is the contract. It is a business transaction, and so we need to make sure everyone's on the same page and being their best version of their self and full of integrity, both us and them. So the customer signs, and we sign. Also, if there's any upcharges that they have requested on their order, that's noted. So there's no surprises at checkout. And then afterwards, I give the customer a copy of the signed contract and of the cut sheet. So we're also very organized that we keep a copy of all paperwork, and so does the customer.
Mm-hmm.
And then even with the cut sheets, the processor keeps a copy. We keep a copy on file, and the customer. So if there's ever a discrepancy, it's not willy-nilly. It's just very like, okay, let's check what each other's notes are, and we can remedy it if there's any little snafus. But yeah, so that's what a beef share contract looks like. And the only thing that I didn't mention was there is a required non-refundable deposit. So it's $150 per quarter. So a half would be $300, a whole would be $600. And we do not accept credit or debit cards. That's another way we can keep costs down. We don't buy cute bags for our store, and we do not do credit or debit cards. So those are things that, if you're okay paying cash, check, or Venmo and bringing your own cooler or your own bag, then those are ways that we can continue to keep prices as fair as possible. And then, like I said, it's a non-refundable deposit, but it goes towards your total balance.
Yeah. Perfect. I was actually going to ask about the deposit part. So you answered it for me. Well, I probably need to set up a time, get you to send me some information, because I think I'm going to try and jump on the May one. And
yeah, I think you should.
I'm excited.
I will tell folks that we do have a monthly newsletter, and there is currently a thing where you can save some money if you buy a July beef share. So if you're interested in joining our newsletter, it's not just about beef shares. Our newsletter talks about our hours, our storefront, and our newsletter also has special sales that are just for newsletter folks as well. So if you go to our website, which is Chapel Creek farms.com, and go to the tab that says blog, and then it says newsletter archive and newsletter sign up. You can see past newsletters, and you can also sign up. So there's some exclusive things there as well. And I would say that even if you didn't get the February newsletter in your inbox, you can still like snoop and find out what it is. What's going on there. So anyway, I just saw. I don't think he's added that yet. The website. So I'll ask him to do that today. But anyway, it's a good spot just to glean information. And because we also live in a time when people are trying to reduce their scroll time, and also social media, they're maybe wanting to take a break from that as well. So we do have a very thorough website, and we have the newsletter each month. So folks that don't want to do social media can still enjoy learning about it that way as well. But if you do like social media, we do have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So you can visit us there as well.
Perfect. We're going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we're going to come back and chat about some upcoming events that you have at Chapel Creek Farms.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full-service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offerings.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
See, even when Mike's not with us,
He's still with us.
he's with us. So, welcome back. We are talking with Melody Divers with Chapel Creek Farms, if you're just tuning in with us. And we have chatted about beef shares and just buying local and supporting local. And now I want to chat about events, because Chapel Creek Farms also, throughout the year holds some events at the farm at the cider barn, and wanted to kind of see what you have coming up and, what people can look forward to this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say those of us that have been here for a while, we lovingly call our storefront in Montvale the cider barn, but we have not talked about cider. Let me say real quick that in the fall, our farm will produces and bottles up raw, unpasteurized apple cider from Bedford County apples. So that is something that's just a small time during the year that we offer, and it's normally like end of October to the middle of December. So it's a very small window of time. But anyway, that's how we started, actually, was with our cider and apples and things like that. And we've done some pivots and different things like that, but we can't get rid of cider because everybody loves it. And it's a really nice way to pay tribute to how we started on this farm journey. So anyway, our storefront is called the Cider Barn, and a couple times a year we do have events. So the first event is super close if you think about it. It's April the 25th, and we've done this event for a few years. It's Burgers and Bluegrass. So it'll be April the 25th at our store in Montvale, 4915 Pike Road. Look for our wooden barn with a red roof. We have a gravel driveway that GPS sends folks by, so make sure that you are looking as you're traveling. So Burgers and Bluegrass is just a good time to listen to good music, eat good food, and we'll have a small little quaint shopping area on the barn porch with some local vendors. But Burgers and Bluegrass for 2026 will be April the 25th from 11 to 2, and a local favorite will be performing New Standard. They were there last year, and the place was packed. Good music. They're just a wonderful musical group. They are very talented, good attitudes, good tunes. It's just, it's the whole thing. So the event is 11 to 2, and the cost is $15 per car. So if you have 2 people in the car, 10 people in the car, it's $15 per car. Now, remember, when you come to our events, we are a real operating farm. So there will be times that you may have to park in a real field. So we always tell folks, wear your boots, don't wear your high heels and cha-cha shoes. I mean, you can, but just understand that we do have handicap parking close to the barn. So don't stress out about that. And those are just some things, funny but necessary housekeeping items. So it is called Burgers and Bluegrass, and there will be burgers, Chapel Creek Farm burgers available for sale. We will have burgers for $8 and cheeseburgers for $9. And then I think we'll have some chips and, water or something like that too, if you're interested in that. But like I said, there'll be a quaint vendor area on the porch. This is a dog-friendly event, as long as your dog is friendly and on a leash. It is welcome to come along with you. We prefer that this is a cash only event because sometimes cell service is a little wonky there. So if you could just be prepared to stop by the ATM and go ahead and grab some cash. But I think it's going to be another wonderful event, just like it was the past couple years. So besides that, and the other 2 things I'm going to tell you aren't even on the website or Facebook yet. So y'all are hearing this first.
Awesome.
All right. So normally our Burgers and Bluegrass is the last Saturday in April. And then the first Saturday in September will be our Table on the Farm dinner.
Oh, yay.
Yes. So we've done several of those with Neil Agee, who just is just a talented. Anything he cooks is amazing, and he puts his own spin on it. And so we're really lucky to partner with him. We've done everything from like the barbecue theme with briskets and ribs and things like that. And we've done filet mignon and prime rib and T-bone. And this past year we did his favorite steak, which is a thick cut bone in New York strip. And we just have a really good time. We had music at the event last year as well, and it was also well received. So the first Saturday in September, we are working on plans. We have the date established and loosely a menu, but nothing to share.
Okay.
And then our last event of the year is the first Saturday in November, and that is our customer appreciation or open house, if you will. At this one, no charge to attend. And we have free samples of beef. Neil will be there cooking up just different goodies. He's done skirt steak before, cube steak. Korean style barbecue ribs. He's done different things in the past. So you'll get some free cooked beef samples at the November event. And then we'll also have cider, so you can get some cider samples as well. And in all of these events, we want y'all to just stroll on over to those beef freezers and pick up a few things too on your way home.
Right. Well, I think I haven't been able to attend the farm to table, like the dinners, because we've either like one year we had Centerfest or something. I really, really want to come to one because I just even love that concept, just being out there on the farm and eating and being in like nature, if you will. And, I can't. So I was just looking at my calendar and I'm not doing anything the 1st September at this time. So I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and just pencil that in. Just be like, don't do anything on this date.
Yes. But I have, like I said, I haven't put it on the website or Facebook. So y'all heard first. But as a rule, those are three times a year: the last Saturday in April, the first Saturday in September, and the first Saturday in November.
Okay. Awesome. And, and also if you're a follower of the Central Virginia Business Coalition, like our newsletters too, normally Melody gives us those and we put those on there too. So hopefully we can, keep you guys updated as they're updated. But I highly encourage you to go. We, like I said, I haven't made it to that, but we have been to some of the events that they have done at the cider barn, and we love the cider. My daughter loves the cider as well. So that's good. I have a question. This is totally off topic, but it hit my head. I'm asking for a friend, and I'm the friend. If you have like stew beef, let's say, in the freezer that I got, is it still good? Like, how long does it stay good in the freezer?
Oh yeah, you have it like in a deep freezer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're good for like 12 to 18 months, and I honestly think you can do more, but I don't know that that's a recommended thing to say.
Okay, just check.
Yeah.
I just realized I had some still in there, and I was like, I need to use that, but I wanted to double check.
Yeah, as long as it's still sealed and it stayed frozen the whole time, you are good. But I always tell people, if you ever have a question, you can always, like, I think like the USDA has like a website search area where you can ask questions too if you have a little.
Okay. I have an issue. Sometimes I'll throw stuff in the deep freezer and I'll forget it's there.
I do that too. When I'm short, so what sometimes like me, when by the time it gets down to the bottom or works, I'm like, oh gosh, that was there, but I'm so short. I couldn't like get it out.
Yes. And I've been trying to do, we were talking about local farms. I get my beef from Chapel Creek. And I've been doing like the Healthy Veterans Market, I think I've been starting to get like, they have these pork sausage links that are delicious. So I'm trying to go to like different places.
That's awesome.
My deep freezer is filling up, but
that's a good problem.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I wanted to also, we've got about 10 minutes left, but I wanted to talk, people are listening in today. We've got the Talk Local to Me podcast, but you also are very big with like ag. In the agriculture world. We were talking, you have a podcast here too, that you host with Media Squatch. And I wanted to kind of chat about that and, give the listeners an idea of what, y'all speak about and have them follow you guys and be able to tune in to you if there's,
things of interest
they want to hear about.
So if you are on Facebook, we have Bedford County, Virginia Agriculture. It is our Facebook reach out that we have for the community, and the icon, our logo, says Local Ag Podcast and has like a soft green background, and that is where we can communicate with our community or whatnot. But we also host a monthly podcast. And about a week ago, I was in here with our local ag podcast interviewing Joey and Jasmine from Huddleston Hog and Highland Homestead. They recently in January experienced a fire on the farm.
Right.
And so that was really a devastating time. And we had an opportunity for them to talk and tell their story of a recovery, and from the ashes, all great things are happening. So that was the most recent one. And again, we are super grateful that Media Squatch is a community partner with us to do these monthly ag related podcasts. So we're working on some things for 2026, but the main thing is we are just wanting to connect our community with all the various agriculture outlets here in the county. It's just we really have an amazing amount of folks that are in the ag industry here in Bedford. So if you're following the page, about 24 hours ago, there's a reel on there, and it says, "To our Bedford farmers, we see your hard work, we value your dedication, and we are so grateful for your grit. Grown by neighbors, enjoyed by friends." And so there's several different photos from Bedford County farms, and you probably recognize like Little Otters in there, and Chapel Creek Farms, and Wright Brothers Beef, and Danny Johnson's there, and Eric Lehman. So different folks like that are on this recent reel, and a thank you. But yeah, we've had various folks on the podcast. We've had Ronnie Gross and Eric Lehman.
Yeah.
We've done the Gleaning for the World. They've been in here. We've talked everything about, from horses to chickens, and different things with the extension agency. Scott Baker's a wonderful resource for folks. So we're just really helping folks get dialed into what's available in their community, and obviously going to the farmers markets, whether it's here in Bedford, Manita, Montvale, or the Forest. You're going to be able to connect with producers. So, that is a volunteer position that I do, but it's because my heart's into it. It doesn't feel like an obligation. It feels like the right fit. And so I'm very big, and I said it earlier, if, Chapel Creek Farms is not what you're looking for, you live in a great area.
Yeah. Well, I just followed the page. I hadn't followed it yet, which
yay.
is crazy. But I just noticed that there are a lot that I didn't even know about, and I work with small business around here. So that's there's a lot of these. I would love to go and visit and learn more about, them. And my daughter is in FFA.
Okay.
And so, I know she's, trying to learn. She's in 8th grade this year, so she's still trying to learn like the ins and outs. And,
Yeah.
She wants to be part of like showing and doing different things. And she's always trying to talk her dad into buying goats and chickens. And so far he's holding strong with no. But
there's a lot of folks in the county, like if she needed to spend a day with them or, go visit or something like that. I will say that the Bedford Economic Development, they have done a great job of creating a directory. It is a very fluid directory where we are wanting producers to be added into it. And I know there's a lot of people on that directory, but there could still be more if folks are interested. It's free. You can just contact the economics department. But if you go back, for example, February 6th, there's a post on Bedford County, Virginia agriculture, and it talks about the directory basically being like a treasure map for local food lovers. And then at the bottom, you can explore and click on that link, and you will see a lot of the producers. This is not exclusive. We would love for more folks to join in, but it's in an alphabetical order. You can click on the particular farm producer, and they normally have contact information like where they will be set up, or if they have a storefront, their email, things like that. So for example, the first one is Anchor Meadow Farm. You can see what they raise, and then there's contact information to learn more. And that's how all of them are set up. And you'll see there's Chapel Creek Farms in there as well. But there might be some that you haven't even realized were in the county, because we do have a big county.
Oh, yeah.
We have a very big county. So, and there's a lot of things right in Bedford area with close proximity as well. So I think that that's a great resource. And I'm just excited about how consumers are really getting an excitement about shopping local, and that includes farms. I think that is I think it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to see all these, especially with a lot of these farms, seeing like how the family dynamics of them too, like how you're teaching the next generation, and that's so important. Just for our economy, and teaching younger kids that like this is where it comes from, and this is kind of keeping that going. I just think that's
and your daughter's in FFA, and so she's amongst very good company.
She is.
She's in. That is a wonderful, wonderful spot for her to be in as well. And 4-H, that's something that folks can join in. That's for the most part, that's a free thing that students can join. Now there may be ancillary things like that come up, but as a goal, they really want it to be for everybody. And you can just reach out to the extension office and find out what's a good fit for your child there as well. So yeah, we have a lot of good things going. FFA week is coming up, I think next week, where there'll be like all things FFA and celebrating the things. But yeah, I just hope people feel really happy and comfortable reaching out to the farmer in their neighborhood and their neck of the woods, and just really not just support their family, but support agriculture.
Right. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that we need to touch on? I feel like we've thrown a lot out there, but
let's just as a review class. Chapel Creek Farms is a family-owned and operated farm centered here in Bedford County. We have a storefront in Montvale. The storefront's located at 4915 Pike Road, and that's in Montvale. In February, our hours are Fridays, 2:30 to 5, and Saturdays 12 to 2:30. In March, we will resume our regular hours, which are Fridays 11 to 5 and Saturdays. Fridays are 11 to 5 and Saturdays are 10 to 2:30. I will share with you that our storefront will be closed the last weekend in March. So we will not be open the last weekend of March. And as a friendly heads up, we do not accept credit or debit cards. We just do cash, check, or Venmo. And we like it when you bring your own cooler or your bags. If not, I have some of my grocery store bags I can share with you, that or folks bring in and they share with us as well. But yeah, it's folks enjoy the drive out to Montvale. It's very peaceful. Things are greening up right now. We had that slow melt from all that winter weather, and then we're getting these warmer temperatures and the rain we got this past weekend. Pastures are greening up, and that's always a good thing. And animals are looking very content and happy and peaceful. So that's also a good thing as well. So folks can enjoy the drive out there. But if you're interested in following us on social media, we have Instagram and Facebook under Chapel Creek Farms, and on TikTok we are under Chapel Creek. Now Johnny has TikTok, and he's really good about more educational things. He does once in a while when the boys or he gets into a little blunder with equipment, he will post those as well with funny music. But I think he is CC Cattle on TikTok as well. So those are ways that you can stay connected with us. And I always tell folks, we're only open on Fridays and Saturdays, but we are full-time farmers. This is what we do. This is not, what we do after work. And we're still raising a family and homeschooling one of them. So if you reach out and I don't get back to you right away, it's because life is lifing, but we appreciate you, and we definitely appreciate your grace in giving us a little time to reply back.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Excellent. Thank you.
I am going to end with the two questions Mike normally asks, so I'm going to do it and not forget, because sometimes I forget. But how long has Chapel Creek Farms been a member of the CVABC?
I am comfortable saying over 6 or 7 years. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
And not only, and I will just mention, not only are they just a member, they have been a sponsor of our organization for about that long, maybe give or take 2 years out of that. But so, they also support what we do for the business community, because with an annual sponsorship, they are, helping us to support others locally. So I appreciate that. And what would you say is the biggest benefit, or one of the biggest benefits, of being a member/sponsor?
I think honestly, in the beginning, I don't have a business background. I taught school for 15 years. Johnny has a minor in business, but me personally, I didn't know really anything about business. And this seemed like the right fit. It wasn't intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, you don't know that, or you can't talk this lingo. It was
Right.
just so unthreatening. And it really helped me with just, even if I went to a few things, the networking, it was not, I never felt like I should probably go stand over there. I don't belong here.
Right.
So I just felt really welcomed. And then it just felt natural to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Aw.
I think it got me on my feet in my business feet.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a lot to learn, that's for sure. But those beginning years, I could write you a wonderful lesson plan and execute it beautifully. But managing
Yeah.
business was, it was a learning curve for me. So I just feel it was a really good resource to have in feeling confident. And now it just seems like, well, why wouldn't we, stay? It just seems that's just the relationship that we like.
Well, I appreciate that. And for those listening, if you're, whether you're listening in because you're a member and you listen in weekly, or whether you're just joining the show today because you found us online, or whether you're listening in because you know Melody and you're just want to hear what she had to say. We really are here to support local business. And when I say local, I mean, I'm talking about bare bones, like just starting out. You don't have to have a brick and mortar. You don't have to have that business plan in place. We're here to help you. We're not a suit and tie organization. Like, you're going to come and you're going to find friendly faces, people who are going through the struggles in life, just like you are as a business owner. And so we really encourage and wrap our arms around, you as a local business. And I will also mention, because I don't know if I've mentioned this in the last episode, or I know I didn't today, but right now, if you are not a member, you want to become a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition, and we would love for you to do that. Our membership rate is 50% off right now till the end of this month. It's kind of our loving local business special that we have going. So, a standard membership is $200. You can join right now for $100. That is for a full year. That is not a month. That is a full year. And if you want our more upgraded marketing package, which is normally $350, you can do that for $175 right now. And that includes marketing and networking and just a lot of things. It's well worth, in my opinion, the money. And we even make it even more affordable because you can split that into monthly payments if you really need to. If you're really starting out and you just $100 is a lot of money for me, because we get it. It can be. So we're just really here to be supportive and offer those opportunities. So if you're interested in that, the promo code, when you go online to fill out the application, there's a space for a promo code. It is the word Business Blitz, all one word, Business Blitz, and you can join for 50% off through the end of the month. So highly encourage you to check us out. And then I am more than willing to sit down one-on-one and go over all those benefits and get to know you and your business, because I love to be able to learn more about our members. So I just want to put that out there. And if you want to come talk with me before you join, please shoot me an email.
Yes.
So, if you have tuned in today and you want to find out more about the Central Virginia Business Coalition, Chapel Creek Farms, any of the events that we have coming up, you can do so by going to www.cvabc.org. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be talking local to you again next Wednesday.